All right, do you remember in the third grade when teacher goes up to the board and she draws one of these things and she says, all right, kids, raise your hand if you like vanilla ice cream. And then, people are raising their hands because they're losers and they don't necessarily like chocolate ice cream. And she writes all the names of the people in here. And then you come over here to who likes chocolate ice cream. And then she writes all the names of the people that just like chocolate ice cream. And who goes in here? People that go in there are the people who like both of them. You like chocolate and vanilla. We're going to kind of do that kind of stuff in a little bit fancier way. So we've got this in your notes. Need to make sure that this is drawn a little bit better. It's an upside down U, and it means and. We're going to call that the intersection, and we're going to call it where the sets cross over each other. If you need to draw a little bit of that would be this stuff in the middle, the and, who like chocolate and vanilla ice cream. This U shape means or, and fancy way to say that is the union, if I can spell union, and that's, for lack of a better way of describing that's both sets combined. And if we were to look at our chocolate and vanilla example, it would be everything in both sets. So just as long as we made sure we got everyone in the class covered up. Down at the bottom, we need to make sure that we draw some stuff in. I don't know why I didn't print. This would be A union B, and then this would be the intersection of A and B. And that apostrophe, the fancy way of saying that is the complement. And complement is just a fancy way of saying everything that is not in the set. So this one means everything that is not in A. This could be everyone that does not like chocolate ice cream. This would be the people that do not like chocolate or vanilla. This would be the people who do not like chocolate and vanilla. Let's look at our first example here. All right, we have some people who own bicycles. We have some people who own skateboards. It says, let set A be the names of students who own bicycles, and let set B be the names of students who own skateboards. So we've got these people are going to be our A set. These people are going to be our B set. Just looking at this to start with, I see, John, Becky, Seth, Ross, and Rebecca, they have a bicycle, and Jordan, Stephanie, and Addie, they have a skateboard. Mike, Debbie, Brandon, and Ashley, they have both a bicycle and a skateboard. And Sean, Rhea, and Spencer, they don't have a bicycle or a skateboard. They don't have either one of them. So let's look at these examples. Find A intersect B, and what does that represent? Well, let's write what that represents to start with. That means the people who own a bicycle and a skateboard. So these would be people who own, I'm going to write bike, and a skateboard. Okay, those are people who own a bicycle and a skateboard. When I come over here to my Venn diagram, I'm going to look and see, okay, these are the people who just own bicycles, just skateboards, neither one of them. The people in the middle own both of them. So I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to say A intersect B equals, and then I'm going to do these little braces. I'm terrible at drawing the braces. Maybe you're better at that. Mike, Debbie, Ashley, and Brandon. Okay? Those are the people who own a bike and a skateboard. The next set is find a union bee. Make sure that U's big. You don't want anyone to confuse that with Auburn. They're not very good at anything, so we want to be good at geometry. Make sure that U's a little bit bigger so no one confuses that with Auburn. So this would be people who own a bicycle or skateboard. Or. So let's write that. Write it kind of small. People who own a bike or a skateboard. Well, does John own a bike or a skateboard? Yep. Does Becky own a bike or a skateboard? Yep. Do all these people own a bike or a skateboard? Yeah, they own a bicycle. George, Stephanie, Addie, do they own a bicycle or a skateboard? Yep, they do. They own a skateboard. Mike, Debbie, Brandon, Ashley, do they own a skateboard or a bicycle? Yeah, they do. They own both of them, actually. Sean, Rhea, Spencer, do they own a bike or a skateboard? No, they don't. So we're going to write all the names except for Sean, Rhea, Spencer. This is how you're going to write that. Okay, wrote all the people who own a bike or a skateboard. The U means or, the upside down U means and. Overlap. All right, find A union B not. The fancy way to say this is the complement of A union B. So the way that, it might be easier for you is to say the people who do not, that's what the apostrophe means, who do not own a bike or a skateboard. So let's write that. People do not own a bike or a skateboard. Okay, the people who do not own a bike or a skateboard. So people who do own a bike or a skateboard, we said John, Becky, Seth, Ross, and Rebecca, they own a bike or a skateboard. Jordan, Stephanie, Addie, they own a bike or a skateboard. Mike, Debbie, Brandon, Ashley, they own a bike or a skateboard. The people who do not own a bike or a skateboard, Sean, Rhea, Spencer. Let's write that over here. All right, try that next one and see if you can, be careful on that last one. It's a little bit different than this one right here. Notice on that next one, it's an upside down U. So try these three, pause it, and then we'll look at them here in a second. So looking at the next one, we've got, the first one says find A intersect B. What does that represent? That means the people that are in Briscoe's class and band. Briscoe's class and band. So that would be the overlap right here, the intersection right here, the intersection of Briscoe's and band. So people who are in Briscoe's class and band, Leah, Callie, Dream, Jackson, and Stephanie. Those are in both of them. The next one, a union B, A or B. That would be everybody in these two circles. If you went and asked Nolan and you said, hey, Nolan, are you in Briscoe or band? Yeah, I'm in Briscoe's class. Leah, are you in Briscoe or band? Yeah, I'm in both of them. Amber, are you in Briscoes or band? Yeah, I'm in band. So that's everyone you wrote in this second one. All those people who are in Briscoe's class or band. The last one is a not, it's a compliment, fancy word for compliment, that apostrophe. So those are people who are not in Briscoe and band. Well, who are the people in Briscoe and band? People in Briscoe and band are Leah, Callie, Dream, Jackson, Stephanie. So people who are not would be everybody else. Would be Nolan, Andre, Ryan, Carson, Amber, Matthew, Russ, Nicole, and Ben. So this is people who are not in the intersection. So we would write everybody else. We're going to look at another example. I want you to find this sheet that says people who own a PlayStation and an Xbox. People who own a PlayStation and an Xbox. And we're not going to look at that one just yet. We're going to look at this middle one. Whoa. 3 of them. All right. So set A, we're going to let that be the people who watch The Bachelor. Set B, we're going to be the people who watch Jeopardy. And C will be the people who watch Shark Tank. So just in words, I'm going to go through I guess we'll just go through them. Number 1, B, union, C, fancy word for union, I guess unfancy word is or. So B or C. The people who watch Jeopardy or Shark Tank. Who watches Jeopardy or Shark Tank? Well, Jeopardy or Shark Tank would be all of these people in circle B and circle C. So I've got Leah. She watches Jeopardy or Shark Tank. Bob. He watches Jeopardy or Shark Tank. Tom watches Jeopardy or Shark Tank. Bill watches Jeopardy or Shark Tank. Lee and Bree. Those people watch Jeopardy or Shark Tank. So Bob, Leah, Tom, Bill, Lee, and Bree. If you were to ask any of those people, hey, do you watch Jeopardy or Shark Tank? They'd say, yeah, I watch Shark Tank, or yeah, I watch Jeopardy. Number 2, I've got A intersect B. So these would be the people who watch The Bachelor and Jeopardy. The people who watch The Bachelor and Jeopardy would be Bob and Tom. Bob and Tom. People who watch The Bachelor and Jeopardy. So let's look back at number 3. Fancy word is compliment. Compliment, it's a word you need to commit to memory. The non-fancy word is not. So everyone not in C, or all those people who don't watch Shark Tank. All those people who don't watch Shark Tank. So the people who do not watch Shark Tank would be Russ, Bob, Leah, and Tim. Russ, Bob, Leah, and Tim. Russ, Bob, Leah, and Tim. Number 4, this would be not, okay? So all of those that don't watch The Bachelor and Shark Tank. Okay, well, who watches The Bachelor and Shark Tank? Lee and Tom, they watch both of them. So we want everyone else except Lee and Tom. So let's write everyone else except Lee and Tom. I'm gonna start up top. We got Russ, Bob, Leah, Bill, Bree, and Tim. Number 5, we got another not. All those who do not watch Jeopardy or Shark Tank. Jeopardy or Shark Tank. So everyone who does watch Jeopardy or Shark Tank would be all these people. Everyone in those 2 circles, Jeopardy or Shark Tank. So we want the people that are not watching Jeopardy or Shark Tank. That's just Russ and Tim. Russ and Tim. And lastly, a little bit of a challenge problem. We've got people who watch The Bachelor and Jeopardy. Okay, so that's narrowed it down to people who watch The Bachelor and Jeopardy. That would just be Bob and Tom. And those who do not watch Shark Tank. So A intersect B has narrowed it down to these people right here. And then not C leaves us with just Bob. Let's look at one more. Flip it over on back. Not the top one, but you'll work it the same way as these. The middle one, we've got A is a set of numbers, so just a bunch of random numbers up there. B is the prime numbers in the interval from 3 to 20. Couple questions there. What's a prime number? Well, a prime number is a number that is, its only factors are 1 and itself. So these numbers, let's write these out. These numbers would be 3 is only divisible by 1 and 3. 4 would not be a prime number because 2 goes into it. 5 would be, just 1 times 5 is the only thing that will give you 5. 6 would not be because 2 times 3 would give you 6. 7 is a prime number. 8 is not a prime number. 9 is not a prime number because 3 goes into it. 10 is not a prime number. 11 is a prime number. 13 is a prime number. 15 is not a prime number because 3 and 5 go into it. 17 is a prime number. 19 is a prime number. And I'm going to stop right there because my interval is from 3 to 20. I'm not going to write 20 because 4 and 5 and 2 and 10 go into 20. So now that I have all these numbers listed out, I can see which ones are found in both sets, which ones found in either set, that kind of stuff. So when I want to find A union C, the other way to write that is A or C, okay? And I try to keep in mind this kind of concept here. You know, we have 3 of them, but just kind of keep this in mind. We have our Venn diagram. And if we want the or, then that is all the stuff listed in both of them. Okay, all the stuff listed in both of them. So if a number shows up twice, we're not going to write it twice, but A or C would be all of these numbers, and then all these numbers too. So we're going to write all those numbers because they would be found in both of those circles. So let's write all this. Let's start with A. We've got, and I don't necessarily care that they're in order. So those are all the ones from A. Then I'm going to write all the ones from C. I'm just not going to duplicate any. So 10 is not up there. 11 is. 12 is not. 13 is up there. 14 is up there. 15 is not up there. So let's just write it like that. Number 2, find A intersect B. So this means A and B. And if I'm looking at the picture for that, you know, intersection would be all of this stuff. So the stuff that's found in both of them, okay? Overlap isn't necessarily the correct word, but the stuff that's overlapping in between the 2 of them. So I need numbers that are found in both A and B. Well, 8's not down there. 9's not down. 11's in there. Let's write 11. Okay. What else we got in A, B? 13 and 17, I think. I think it's just 11, 13, and 17. A intersect B. Just making sure. 11, 13, and 17. Yeah, I think that's right. Next one, we got the intersection of A and C. So we got A intersects C. And we're going to look at A and C. And remember the intersection, this would be the stuff that's in both of them. So what, 11 is in both of them? 13 is in both of them. 14 is in both of them. I think that's it. 11, 13, or 14.